Do you know that old story about how if you were in the know around Hollywood, like pre-Reagan administration, it was like pretty commonly known that Nancy Reagan had like insane throat game.
Yeah, that she
Like,
was the throat goat.
She was a well-known throat goat. I'm starting to think that's how your strap game is becoming.
Well,
I think we might be getting in early on another Hollywood legend.
well, hold on. I've heard conflicting reviews, but
I think one of those reviews should be tossed out because it's by a biased source.
by a what?
By a biased source.
Oh. Wait, are we thinking of the same person? Yeah, but they didn't actually know my strap game. They only knew my head game, which I guess is trash. I don't know. But my strap game has had good reviews.
I can provide a personal testimony. I've been on the end of that thing before. It was fun.
Right.
I
But,
bring
like,
this up because...
Well, like, y'all aren't just saying that, right?
I don't think so. I'm not saying that. I mean, I've taken a lot of strap in my life. I'm not out here trying to make a tier list. I'm not trying to hold one strap against another. But yeah, no, I enjoyed the times that you strapped me, and you're back in the strap game as of recently because we went to a party together, and I feel like even though the party wasn't for you, like it was a gangbang, and you were not the person at the center of it, you were like the main character in the supporting cast.
I mean, if I wasn't there, I was passing. It was the community strap.
Yeah, what would have happened? I mean, your strap was the one making the rounds, and like you broke the seal on that strap too. Like you were the first to use it, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's mine.
And it was life of the party.
Yeah.
So I feel like I got a phone call from the host the day after, specifically mentioning the quality of your strap game.
You make it sound like it's like a business deal.
I don't know. I feel like we could be getting in on some Nancy Reagan shit here.
What's the throat goat equivalent of strap?
I feel like it could be you. Like I feel like if you keep it up, if you put your strap to the grindstone, so to speak, and you start to work your way around town, I think you already have a reputation for a good strap just from a small circle but increasing circle of friends that we have. And word travels when you're throwing it down. Trust me, I know. The whole reputation sometimes precedes me. So the strap reputation could very well sometimes precede you.
Well, I mean, I have no problem putting it down, but what about when everyone expects me to throw it down? But
ladies one at a time.
But like, what about? I feel like I'm a bottom at heart, so like I can definitely do both, but like girls are gonna come to me expecting strap, and I can give that, but like what about, like, I want to be dick down typically, so
yeah. No, this is what the trappings of fame, the perils of fame. They make movies about shit like this, like you have it all, but at what cost? You have it all and you still don't get what you want. How does it make you feel being a guy who's good at fucking girls with a strap on?
Well, I mean, I kind of do wish that I could do it with the real thing, just because, like, I feel like it'd be so satisfying to
top with
cock them down,
dick.
like yeah.
That's interesting because there's advantages and disadvantages. That's for sure. I mean, especially because we're mostly T for T. Not all of these girls are getting the the consistency that comes with just throwing a strap on,
Right, because the strap's always on hard mode.
Like, that's the thing, if you're the strap guy, you're on call. I mean, you're
Right.
available at all hours of the day, you know, every time. But that's physically. Then, you know, emotionally, you're like, are you in the state of mind to receive a strapping right now? You know, are you in the state of mind to give a strapping right now?
Well,
That's
I
the
mean,
question.
I think it's kind of easy to get into that state of mind because you don't have to worry about the physical aspect of it.
You did tell me before that party that we went to, I'm just remembering this now, that you thought it was good that you were going to bring a strap because even if you weren't really horny, you could still use the strap even if your heart wasn't in it. And I thought that was really funny. But I am of the opinion, having watched a strapping at your hands the other night, I think your heart was in it. And I think that's what made it good.
I'm heartbroken.
Okay, but you're still slinging, right? Like, it's an inspired strapping.
Yeah, I mean,
Don't downplay this. You had fun.
I
and
did.
Your heart was in it, and you thought it was sexy.
Yeah, it was. I just think that I don't even know why my strap game is good like that. I feel like I'm not even doing that much. I am sweating after it's all said and done, though.
Yeah, I mean,
'cause, like,
sometimes it's the little things, you know?
I feel like I'm putting in my all, but I'm not, like, athletic or anything.
That's an over sort of implication. That's an over exaggeration of the like stamina element, you know?
Yeah, I don't have that much stamina.
They would rather you hit it right for 10 minutes than hit it mid for 30 minutes.
I don't know if I make 10 minutes.
In the heat of the moment?
Those 30 seconds can feel like 10 minutes.
Welcome to Brain Frot. I think this is episode 17.
I don't know.
I'm going to stake my claim on this. Welcome to episode 17 of Brain Frot. Lex is checking. I'm going to look like a fucking fool if it's not.
Welcome to episode 16 of Brain Frot.
Are you serious? No, that can't be
I'm
true.
sorry, I was wrong. Welcome to episode 17 of Brain Frot. I was looking at the wrong post.
Woo!
Welcome to episode 17.
Oh, you went to our Instagram?
Yeah.
That's cute. I normally go to Spotify when I forget to check.
I don't even
look
at the podcast on Spotify.
Yeah, I forgot you don't actually listen to this. My name is Lavender.
Oh, my name is Lex.
And today, we're going to get in trouble again.
Maybe when we get to the later parts. So we're going to get canceled this time for talking about age dynamics.
Age gaps.
It's age gap summer.
Zeitgeist of trans femme in particular culture right now. And I am an eager participant. If anyone is fucking following my goddamn post history, my digital footprint, they know well that I both participate in and discuss T for T age gaps quite a bit. It's a very controversial thing. We can get into why, but I will start by posing a question to you. I think everyone knows where I stand on this. I love older trans women. I always have. Before this was like the it thing to do and to make horny tweets about, I was already chasing after trans women decades older than me. So, what about you? Do you like MILFs?
I do like MILFs. I respect them. And, like, I think they're a pillar of our community. And, I mean, I don't know anyone who's against MILFs.
That's not the question, though. Does it turn you on knowing that someone is 10 to 15 years older than you?
Like, yeah. Like, I don't know that I have, like, a particular thing about it, but, like, I can get into it. I think that it depends on... I feel like I don't pursue that thought. Like, it doesn't grip me like it does to you. Like, I think I have it as like a passing thought, and I don't really entertain it.
Yeah, like I'm not saying you're like discriminating against older dolls or anything. I mean, I'm sure you're like eager to hook up with them, but I think you're coming at this from a place of neutrality, and I'm coming at this from a girl who will sometimes add that a doll's 15 years older than me to a tweet or an Instagram post for absolutely no reason other than it's horny and I like it.
Yeah, I don't have that as much. I think for me it's like before I even get to that point, I'm already assessing dynamics and being like, well, like, to me, it kind of is, it becomes almost out of the question for me that me and this hypothetical MILF would engage with each other because of the age gap. Like, for me, it's a reason not to engage with them. It's only like maybe a fleeting fantasy.
So you would even say you're more likely to use an age gap, even as the younger party. You're more likely to use an age gap as a reason not to do something than a reason to do something.
Yeah, because it, like, would feel wrong.
Interesting.
Even though, like, I think MILFs are hot, and, like, I do actually think I should be involved with older women more because one time my therapist said to me that I should date older
That's the worst idea in the world.
because, like, you know, older people
Wiser.
in theory know what they want more than younger people do. So
Hypothetically, yeah.
So I think it would actually maybe be beneficial if I mean, we're not even really talking about dating, but like if I were to date older people,
the conversation is open enough that you could certainly approach it from
we're
a
kind
dating
of
standpoint.
we're thinking sexually, like, are we attracted to older women because they're older?
Right.
And like for me, it's like I feel like the age isn't such a central factor to where it's like I'm thinking about it like that.
Mm-hmm. I think that's probably outside of the sort of AGP dregs that I exist in, the most common understanding. You know, like there's people that are really into MILFs, I guess, or like DILFs or whatever. But for the most part, I feel like it's people who are assessing someone as a measure of attractiveness, and the farther the age gap, the more hesitancy it instills in them. Like, I think that's common belief. And certainly neither of us can speak to this idea of the broad age gap as the elders because we're not old enough.
Mm-hmm.
But you already stress sometimes. Like, you meet people and you're like, they're too young for me. And you're not that old.
Yeah, I mean,
We're both in our mid-20s.
Well, I just entered my late 20s, actually. Technically, I'm 26 now, which feels
Scary thought.
really weird to think that I'm in my late 20s now. Mid to late 20s,
Yeah,
I guess.
you're like mid to late 20s. Like, you're basically still, you just got over the halfway point. Don't jump the gun.
Yeah, so now I'm like, if I was with a 21-year-old, that would be weird.
To you personally, or
To
because
me.
you would think that society would think that was weird?
Some of society would think it's weird. Like,
But are you taking that into account?
I think that the queer community is very cognizant of age gaps, like more than the average, like, straight people. I feel like if there was a 21-year-old and a 26-year-old and they were straight, no one would think anything of it. But if it was queer, people would be like, that's kind of weird, maybe.
Interesting.
Because, well, now I'm like discoursing, but it's like because, you know, queer people, especially like gay men, there's like this harmful stereotype of like older gay men like preying on younger gay men, you know?
Yeah, I would say I'm surprised to hear you say that the queer community is more cognizant of that, because it feels to me like it's almost more acknowledged, because that is obviously a gay stereotype, but one that once every couple months you have someone come out like on gay Twitter and talk about their experiences, and they're like happy to have had a gay elder in their life like that. And certainly in T for T situations, it's like, are we aware of the age gap? Yeah, but I mean, a lot more people, at least these days in contemporary, and maybe this is just trans femmes, but people are not just cognizant of it, but like chasing it. To the extent that someone will make a tweet about, big age gaps, will make a tweet about some, 35-year-old doll with her like 19-year-old puppy girl girlfriend who's entirely dependent on her, and then everyone will spend days discoursing about it, because you have like Twitter or like porn Twitter accounts quote tweeting about how sexy that is, and then a bunch of people with the like, we can't normalize this, and that whole discourse cycle goes. But like, to think that the queer community is more likely to reject a 21 and 26-year-old relationship is not at all my experience with the queer community.
Okay, I'm probably exaggerating with that just because it's like me personally, like just me. I don't know if I could be with a 21-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, yeah, I think in that, like, I think it does just depend on like how healthy the dynamic of the relationship is between the two, like, age gap participants.
Of course.
Like, yeah, you can have like a healthy relationship between like a 19 and a 35-year-old, but like, I think there is like that perception that like it's automatically wrong, But like, what we're really discussing is like not relationship dynamics, but like the pure attraction of it, right?
At the crux of all of this is less the social responsibility and more the fact that, and this is probably cancelable on its own, but I don't know, like, flirting with an older trans woman for me is like telling her how old I was when blank thing happened, and she's like, oh shit, you were like 2, I was in middle school, and I'm like, oh my god, put your cigarette out on me.
All right, so I'm the dissenting opinion. I think that's a little weird.
That's okay.
Like, okay, so I totally get from your perspective how it's hot because you're the younger one. But I kind of question where the older person gets off on it, Like, isn't it weird that they're into younger people like that? I don't know. Like, when I think about it from the older person's perspective, it seems like kind of gross.
I mean, I don't judge older trans women for being attracted to me. I only judge people for not being attracted to me.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that puts me in a difficult position to counter that argument, because then it's almost like I have to argue why fucking someone younger than you is sexy. But from a kink standpoint and from a kink dynamic, I think there's a dependence to it. There's definitely like especially if you're the older one and you're the dom and you're the top, it's like, oh, this younger, stupider, more vulnerable person is just gonna like be my little pet, is gonna be my little sub, is like more likely to do what I say, I can control them. It's just another element of the already slippery slope of cancellation kink fantasy that you're engaging with,
Yeah, I guess when it's like kind of dom sub, that makes sense. It like heightens that dynamic.
Definitely. Like it elevates the older person to an even higher throne almost automatically.
Yeah, I like kink wise, like that's cool. I just like I get so scared about like the real life stuff.
Of course, because like, and I'm doing a bad job defending it because I'm tiptoeing, trying not to get canceled. But I think it's because most people like you will hear those relationships explained in kink terms, and it's impossible not to imagine a version of that manifests outside of kink.
Right.
And that very well could be the case sometimes, but I will say this is, anecdotal, obviously, personal experience, but I was the youngest girl in a polycule when I was 21 and everyone else all the way up to their older 20s. And definitely age play and mommy kink dynamics went into the sex that we were having. And yet I was by far the most responsible person and absolutely the glue fundamentally and practically holding the entire thing together. So it's certainly not a one-to-one kink to real life type thing.
Can I just say, if you're in your 20s, like, you can't really be a mommy, right?
Is that true?
Like,
You wouldn't call a girl in her 20s mommy?
you can act mommy, but you're not really mommy.
Let's dial the focus back a little bit. Do you describe yourself as a person with a mommy kink?
Am I someone with a mommy kink?
That's the question. That's the launch pad for this conversation.
Not particularly, I think. Like, I can do it, like, I can get into it, like, but it's not my, like, it's not on my list of kinks.
So, defensively, what authority do you even have to decide who can and can't be mommy? Is my first reaction.
I don't know, like, I think you have to be, like, aged in some way, right?
I think there's a surface level element to calling someone mommy, as that's just what you refer to them, and you use it in a way that you would exchange with anything that you would call a person during sex. If they're normally in like a mommy situation, they're like doming you, like whether you're calling them, mistress or ma'am or by their name or whatever, like mommy is just what you call them. And that's the shallow pool next to the ocean of engaging with mommy kink and mommy dynamics directly in a more involved way. And so I think what you're talking about is you could not feel like you were being mommied in the deep mommy kink involved way by someone who wasn't substantially older than you, and at least in their 30s, is what you're saying.
Yeah, because that's just what I think of when I picture a mommy.
Because, like, I'll call girls that are younger than me mommy, and I am in my mid-20s. Like, I've called my girlfriend who's a year younger than me mommy. I call my girlfriend who's 5 years older than me mommy too. Like, I don't know, to me, like, the literal age of someone has less to do with it. I think it's more of an attitude thing. Like, in my younger years, probably the most that I've ever engaged with the mommy kink, with the iceberg of the mommy kink, how deep it can go, is with someone that was the same age as me. But it's because that was their kink, that was their personality. They were a mommy dom, they were good at it, they embodied it, and so the age didn't really matter as much because they were doing it.
Okay, I can respect that. I mean, I recently went on a date with someone who's 25, and they had in her Grindr profile that you can, like, call her mommy, like, call me mommy. It was in her Grindr profile, but she's, like, 1 year younger than me, and, like, I was not really getting mommy vibes from her.
Interesting. So has there ever been someone in your life that you've hooked up with regularly and primarily referred to them as mommy?
No, definitely not primarily. I mean, there have been like occasions while hooking up that like I would call them mommy, like for the thrill, like once or twice.
But that's sort of as deep as you take it.
Yeah.
Interesting. Because I have called literally hundreds of women mommy in my lifetime. Like, I obviously have a mommy kink, notoriously maybe, in fact. And it comes up a lot. I think girls recognize that I have a mommy kink because they tell me that I can call them that without even asking.
Can I just say this is personal experience, but like I think it's because for me I call my real life parents mommy and daddy still.
Interesting.
So that is probably part of why I do not really call partners that.
Interesting. So it's not really the momminess, the matronliness. It's the literal word mommy, or you just don't want a mommy type figure in your sex life, period.
Well, okay, I think that it's the word mommy and the word daddy. Definitely not the word daddy. I'm not touching that one.
Interesting.
'Cause it's weird. Like,
is weirder than mommy?
Weirder than mommy because I don't have a good relationship with my dad.
Most people, broadly speaking, think the other way about that. Like, daddy is way more, especially among cis people, like, daddy's way more normalized, and the mommy thing is like, whoa, okay, we're doing this.
I think I have, like, so much, like, daddy issues for my real life father who I call daddy that I'm, like, not touching that.
That's fascinating because I think a lot of people would also say that mommy and daddy issues is what reinforces those kinks existing in the first place.
It's just, like, gross to me when I think about, like, daddy stuff. But, like, mommy stuff, I'm, like, on the edge. Like, I could get into it. But, like, okay, but in terms of, like, having a mommy, like, I like being taken care of, for sure. I'm sure that I would enjoy, like, having a mommy partner in that way, but it's like
calling them mommy would be a problem.
No, like I could do it. It's just like I think I'm just like it's just like not really a main kink of mine that like I enjoy, like I derive sexual enjoyment from, because it's like I'm just not into the like DDLG and whatever the mommy version of DDLG is like that.
Yeah, that's wading into a toxic puddle that I figured we would get to at some point.
Oh, is DDLG toxic?
I mean, I feel like a lot of people that have mommy kinks would want that separated entirely from the ethos of DDLG.
I thought it was the same thing.
I mean, you could kind of make that argument and suppose that framing that it's sort of kink built out of family dynamics, but the aesthetic of DDLG rubs a lot of people the wrong way.
Because in DDLG, they're like...
It's an older man and a younger girl.
They're like, she's wearing ribbons in her hair.
Very Lolita.
Schoolgirl.
Yeah, very conflating her youth in a way that sends a lot of people running for the hills.
I think that's what gets me. Like, I do not like that. And I think I'm kind of conflating the two. The, like... To me, when I think of, like, mommy dynamic, I kind of think of, like, that DDLG aesthetic. And it's, like, it grosses me out.
Interesting. I think a lot of people with the more surface-level mommy kinks would try their best to separate that conflation from happening in people's heads. But, you know, if you make an analysis of it and come to the conclusion that they're similar to you, you know, that is what it is. Like, no one's trying to talk you into that kink. It's interesting that those are conflated because I don't know, you're right. Like, DDLG has that reputation for being so weird and off-putting and analogous with predatory behavior and pedo shit to so many people that it's like, I don't know. I have a mommy kink, and I don't really like the idea that it's conflated with DDLG, even though I understand why someone would think that.
Right, but I think it's kind of mainstream nowadays to be into MILFs too. It's like you can be into MILFs but not mommy kink, right?
Yeah. I know what you mean. You could even say mommy and call someone mommy without really indulging in the sort of ethos of mommy kink, you know?
Uh-huh.
Like, I think it's not that unfamiliar for people to say. Like, just saying mommy seems like it's becoming more as common as ever, while indulging in mommy kinks is perhaps becoming as controversial as ever.
Interesting.
Because I feel like this gives way to the fact that a lot of the pick-me HSTS trans people who feel like if trans people just act cis enough, then cis people will stop minding that we exist. Which is a busted-ass opinion to have, obviously. A lot of those kinds of people are the ones who will go on the internet and kink shame ruthlessly and talk about how things like any adaptation of family dynamics into a kink space or the age gaps that trans femmes chase after so hard, claiming that all of that stuff is toxic and bad for the optics of trans people and bad for the community, and it's bad for trans people to be associated with that stuff like age gaps, and God forbid to even step on the live wire of like sisterly kinks that so many trans femmes have. The reason I have been so inspiredly defensive when met with backlash for some of this stuff is just because I see people all the time on the internet make these fuck-ass room temperature IQ takes where they're like, well, surely if like trans women weren't AGP, then we'd have all our rights. Like, surely if trans women weren't calling each other their sisters as a kink thing, like, then everything would be fine for trans people. Like,
right, we're just being weirdos.
Like trying to frame kink as like a casting out that if it didn't exist, then everything would be cool and fine. And it's like, obviously that's a garbage take from garbage people, but when you tiptoe around the language of that, it makes me very defensive. Is all.
That makes sense. I mean, cis people are doing their own cringe kink stuff.
Oh, definitely, of course. But cis people aren't, like, marginalized to the extent that they would say, well, if only we got rid of all those kinky people, then, like, everything would be fine for cis people. Everything's already fine for a lot of cis people, you know? Like, cis people are not trepidatiously punished for their kinks in a round fashion the same way that trans people are.
Right. Okay, so I think we kind of both, like, we have our opinions on the, like, the ethics of mommy kink and such. Like, you know, you're for it, basically, like, you're for it, and I'm kind of, like, not that into it, like, ethically. But, like, I guess for the sake of conversation, maybe we can leave the discourse behind and get into what is, like, so hot about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that we can talk about something more interesting now.
Yeah, I agree. I put the discourse behind. Do you want me to take over? Do you want to talk, like?
Well, let me think, cuz, like, I mean, I guess you'll have more to say, so I'll start just by, like, yeah, I do find it hot to be, like, taken care of, and, like, you can have, like, I mean, it's similar to being a dom. You can do like praise with it, or you can do like humiliation with it.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up.
So, you can have either one of those with mommy kink that like heightens that dynamic. There's multiple ways to look at mommy kink. One is like the dynamic, no matter what the age of the participants.
Mm-hmm.
And then secondly is the real physical age gap. So dynamic wise, like I can get into that, like, dom sub dynamic. Age gap wise, I mean, like, a mature woman is hot, right?
Definitely, yeah.
So like physically hot, like, so I don't know what else to add to that. Like, older women are sexy. It's true.
You imagine that when you lead into the age dynamic, you imagine her as a little more stoic, more experienced, better able to communicate what she wants, perhaps a little bit more methodical rather than spontaneous.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people are into that level of control.
You can't waste an older woman's time.
Exactly. She knows what she wants, and like if she's good, she knows how to extract that from you. At least that's the vision of the mommy kink when you're leaning into the dynamic of the literal age in your head.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You also, I mean, you're right about the way that you can do it as praise or as humiliation. There's definitely that side of mommy kink that can make some people uncomfortable. That's in the more caring and attentive side that aligns with a lot of praise. It also aligns with like people who are really into sucking titties, like their babies.
Oh yeah.
And that's very much on the praise and comfort side of the mommy kink.
I can get into that. Let's talk about sucking titties for a second.
Because you also imagine the mommy figure with big milkers.
Right. There's something, I don't know. I'm pretty into sucking titties, so it's like
in a mommy kind of way.
Not really.
You just like sucking titties.
Like, I'm not trying to get milk or anything.
Not a lactation thing.
No.
But you like sucking big titties.
Yeah.
Does it work for you better when a mommy dom has like huge titties, like fat titties, not like young trans femme perky Toblerone titties, like honkers?
Yeah, the honkers are cool. I mean, I like all sizes.
But as like the mommy dom that you picture in your head.
Describe
her.
Like, yes, when I'm thinking of like a MILF, like a mature woman, I am thinking of her breasts.
She's busty.
Yeah.
She's curvy.
Uh-huh. Like, that's probably the main vision I have in my mind.
So, and she is more inclined to praise you and to take care of you and to take the lead and do things to you rather than dish out orders for you to do. Like, you're taking a very much a soft dom and a comfort dom approach to handing over authority to a mommy dom, is what it sounds like.
Yeah, I mean, that's like, I feel like that's the appeal of like MILFs, is that they're kind of soft dom with it.
Because I would say, and I've certainly had that many times, but I have a pretty mommy kink heavy relationship with one of my girlfriends, the eldest of the pack, who's extremely mommy to me, but in a way that is much more reminiscent of the humiliation side of things. It's sort of a display of pathetic behavior and desire that almost ruminates on this sort of childish concept of getting caught doing something you're not supposed to. This sort of embarrassment, this sort of flustering that this person who is more mature and respectable than you is catching you doing something pathetically, fruitlessly horny, and that humiliation is enticing. And I think that's where the mommy kink goes into overdrive. That's where the thoughts start to disappear and the intuition takes over in my head. Like, my vision of, I'm not a soft dom girl in general, you know, like I always prefer a mean girl. And so when the mommy kink that I picture in my head is just my girlfriend, and it's her just humiliating the shit out of me for being a dumb, young, stupid little horny idiot.
That's funny because I'm actually gonna see your girlfriend in a few days, and I want the soft dom treatment from her.
Oh, she'll give it to you. No, she can do it. Yeah, absolutely. I've seen her do it, and she'll do it to you for sure. But that's not the crux of our dynamic, I would say.
It's interesting that I feel like your dynamic is kind of more associated with, like, daddy kink, you know? Like, I feel like daddy kink is more humiliation focused.
Interesting.
It's kind of like a masculine take on the mommy kink.
Wow, that might be the most controversial thing that we've said in this whole podcast.
Yeah.
That's fascinating. I would never have viewed it like that because it still feels so maternal when it happens, you know? Like, it's never the kind of thing that I would mistake happening as, like, a daddy. There's that, like, sort of risque fascination that a mommy dom has in finding you doing something humiliating and extracting that humiliation from you that, to me, reads as so mommy. But I also pretty much only hook up with women, trans women anyway. So maybe that's a scope and perspective matter.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a cancelable take on siscon?
Haven't we talked about siscon before?
Very briefly, and I told you to save it for another episode. This is the other episode. I mean, it's kind of, I feel like it's a little bit weirder, like a little bit more taboo. Definitely a little more taboo.
Than mommy and daddy kinks.
I don't want to unpack why, but I think that's unfair.
Well, let me just say, I did have one experience where I did, like, big sis little bro roleplay with someone.
How was that?
It was cool. Like, it kind of turned me on, but it was still a little weird. I don't know how I really, like, felt about it, I guess. Like, I don't know. Is part of it that it, like, feels weird and uncomfortable? Like, is that the enjoyable part, or do I just, like, am I just not into it?
I suppose for some people it's in the sense that, like, any kind of shame is a turn on, any kind of embarrassment. I will say, I don't have nearly the palette for siscon that I do for mommy kink stuff, in the sense that, like, I'll call anyone mommy whether we're engaging directly with mommy kink or not. I don't really feel that way with siscon stuff. I mean, I guess I'll say anyone following me long enough knows that my Instagram tagline used to be the internet's big sister, and that didn't have anything to do with siscon. It was just because I have big sister vibes, like I'm just mean and a bad influence. But I will say that there are two people, and I won't name them because I didn't ask, but they're also, you know, public profiles on the internet. It wouldn't be hard to find out who these two people are. But there are two people that I have long-running kink relationships that I do call my little sisters. But that dynamic needed time and development, you know? Like, we really had to get into a place where we were hooking up, and more specifically hooking up with other, like, mommy type figures and taking on that role to each other. Like, I'm not just going to call any one little sis. That's for these two in particular. And I know just saying that is, like, even amongst people who are not kink shamers, you bust out the big sis, little sis, and some people start to flare up. So even people that we, like, know and see regularly who would listen to this podcast, I think are going to take issue with that. But there are two relationships in my life that I do see that way, but I don't unpack that with anywhere near the frequency. Like, I'll call a girl mommy for absolutely no reason other than it's sexy. But to do a siscon thing, it's really got to feel like that dynamic to me.
I think, yeah, siscon, I think, like, is kind of ickier to a lot of people. I think it's just, like, too close to home. I don't know, like...
I think that's bullshit, but let them have that, I guess.
It's just, like, no, I don't even care. Like, I don't even... Like, I support them, but, like, I get why people don't like it.
I'm surprised to hear you say that you would never, ever engage with daddy kink because of your real life relationship with a dad. But you would call someone big sis in a sexual capacity having a real biological older sister. Because in my mind, it's like what inspires the mommy kink, the daddy kink, the sis kink is negative relationships, you know? Like daddy kink comes from daddy issues, conventionally.
Well, I feel like it's the opposite for me. Like, it doesn't really have an impact on, like, my sister or mom dynamics because, like, I don't have bad relationships there. But, like, I do have a bad relationship with my dad, so it feels, like, weird.
I guess for a lot of people, it's almost like supplementing a negative or non-existent relationship. You know? Like, cis girls with daddy kinks have bad or non-existent relationships with their fathers, and so they seek out father figures sexually.
I guess I just don't have it like that.
Less of an emotional thing?
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think that I'm trying to think if I seek out anything, like, dynamic-wise like that.
Like, this is so uncomfortable for so many people to talk about, but, like, the vision of the mommy kink that you have in your head that you described earlier, the one that's attentive and nurturing, is that similar or different to the dynamic you have with your actual mother?
I mean, my mom, I feel, would be inconsistent. Like, she would either be, like, sweet or she would be, like, neglectful.
Fascinating. This confession has meant nothing.
So...
I get it. I mean, it seems like you just... Well, I don't know. I was going to say you just have this ability to separate the conceptually kinky with the biological reality, but then that's your aversion to daddy kink is all about the biological reality.
I don't even know what we're talking about anymore.
I don't know, dude. I feel like if you found, like, you're, like, broadly bisexual in the same sense that I am, where it's, like, mostly girls, but, like, I don't know, if the perfect boy came along and, like, he was doming you like that, there's no situation where the words daddy would ever leave your mouth.
Absolutely not.
That's crazy. I love calling a dommy T-boy daddy. I did it at the same party where you were slinging strap, as a matter of fact.
No, the thought disgusts me. But, like, mommy is fine.
Amazing. Mommy is fine.
Has anyone ever called you mommy?
Yes. Sometimes it slips out. I would not describe it as something that makes me uncomfortable, but it's illusion shattering.
Right, because
You know,
you're
like,
like, that's not me.
I'm not in sexual situations where I'm mommy. I'm just not. And so when someone says that, and several people have either seemingly slipped up and said it by accident, or just jumped to the conclusion that they can call me that, like, I'm not going to throw up or anything, but it destroys a little bit of immersion, because I'm like, come on, girl, that's not
Dude,
me.
that's how I feel when people want to call me daddy, because it's like, look at me.
You're like, I'm not daddy. Look at me. I don't know. I was watching you throw it down the other night, and I feel like You don't even think, like, in the moment, like, especially when you're topping someone, when you're throwing it down, when you're slinging strap, daddy would take you out of the situation?
I would laugh.
That's really funny. What do people call you when you're fucking them? You made the animal ick face when I asked you that question.
I'm trying to think, like, I don't think they call me anything.
Fascinating. I'm trying to remember what I would have called you. Probably just your name.
That's too, like, intimate. Like,
You don't like when people call you your name? during
only
sex?
only if, like, we're in love.
Wow, that's fascinating. That's like most people's default is before, like, if you have no pre-existing kink relationship, just call them whatever their name is. Like, you don't like hearing someone like moan out your name when you're hitting it right.
Only if we're in love.
Why?
Because it feels too personal.
You're having sex.
I guess I don't know. I feel like I just, like, I don't say terms, like, if I don't know the person, and, like, I don't know, like, I really can't think of what they call me.
I'm fascinated at the idea that
Like, I know what they call me when I'm bottoming.
oh yeah, well, we know. But
Right.
We've talked about it before.
I don't think they call me anything when I'm doming.
That's so funny. You're just the dom with no name. Oh man. Okay, I can't let this go. It'll be the last thing we talk about. But, like, why is someone saying your name during sex too intimate? Has that ever happened to you? And you've been like, no, I don't know you like that.
No, it hasn't, but, like, I guess I can only think of, I don't know, I think it sticks out in my mind if, like, I'm in love with them and they say my name, then it's, like, so intimate that it, like, sticks in my mind, and I can't think of any scenarios where someone I didn't love said my name, and I literally can't remember. Like, I think I've only had sex with people I love who have said my name like that.
That's just wild. I hear people, like, when I hook up with someone for the first time and we don't really have a kink dynamic yet and they didn't get the chance to ask what I like to be called, they'll all just call my name. Like, people call me my name during sex all the time. I almost feel like that's the most casual thing because they're calling you your name all the time. And then once you know each other well enough to know what to call each other, that's the advancement, not the other way around. Not that I'm criticizing your choices or anything. I'm just surprised. I just want to know more.
Well, I mean, it just hasn't happened. Like, people I don't know that well don't say my name, probably because they don't know me that well.
I don't know about that, but if they don't know you that well, then your name is one of the only things they know about you.
Well, they just don't call me anything.
Huh. And it would be unimmersive for someone you were hooking up with for the first time to call you by your name while you were having sex with them.
It wouldn't be unimmersive. I don't think it would be, like, anything, like, I think it just hasn't happened.
Yeah, that's different. Like, it hasn't happened to me is different than I only let people I'm in love with call me my name during sex.
Well, I think I can only remember people I love saying my name because no one else has said my name.
Interesting. Very interesting. We don't have time to figure out what exactly it is about the practical way that you have sex that somehow prevents people from ever saying your name or referring to you with any noun or in any specific sense.
Well, because, like, usually I'm bottoming, and, like...
There's all kinds of words.
There's a lot of words for that, but I guess when I'm doming, they're just, like, moaning and shit. They're not saying anything.
Fascinating. I bet they are moaning and shit.
Mm-hmm. Like, sometimes, like, they'll call me baby, but it's also, like... I'm not your baby.
God, you're such a lover boy. So, siscon good, age gap good, mommy kink good, all good. Do it all the time.
I didn't say that.
Lex said, this is not the editorial opinion of the hosts of the Brain Frot podcast. Do you kink shame any of that? Does it affect the way that you think about anyone? And you can be honest that they engage with any of that stuff.
No, I'm not kink shaming. It's just, like, not for me.
Okay. I think I would be willing to kink shame a cis man for anything.
Oh,
definitely
true.
For being into DDLG.
Yeah, that's true.
Stuff. But from a trans perspective, I agree that even when I am not engaging with it directly, I am not out here trying to clock people for any of this behavior. I mean, I feel like my friends and online oomphs alone would have dug that hole pretty deep for me if I was trying to be a kink shamer. Also, I just don't want to sound like one of those pick-me trannies that's trying to appeal to cis people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's that, I suppose.
Yeah.
I feel like just talking about siscon is liable to get us in trouble, or at least get some bad opinions from people, because it's like social media is how we are, like, tapping into that zeitgeist, tapping into what's going on, what people are thinking. And it's a controversial thing. There's always, every once in a while, someone will try to attack the persistence of age gaps in trans femme relationships, and that becomes a lightning rod for controversy. Like, I don't think we're discoursing about it necessarily, but it does spark a lot of discourse. All of this stuff is in some sense kind of taboo, even though it's remarkably common.
I think that's the hard part about talking about this kink, is because, like, people always want to talk about the ethics of it. Like, it's hard not to. So it's hard to, like, actually... I guess it's hard for me to, like, have fun with it, because, like, I don't know, I have anxiety, I guess.
Pure candid in the, like, I'm willing to talk about this directly sense. I think it taps into an uncomfortability that a lot of people have to acknowledge just how much their kink and sex lives are inspired by emotions that both date back a really long time to their childhood and also persist in their regular, everyday, non-kink life. And when you start to draw those trails, those sort of Freudian trails to explain why someone engages with kink the way that they do, it can cause people to react with a lot of schadenfreude as a result. And sometimes those people lash out if they're dumb and stupid and bad. And that's how the discourse cycle happens.
Well, I mean, I feel like all kinks can be traced back to, like, childhood, basically. Not just mommy and daddy kink.
Probably, yeah, definitely. It's a quest for fulfillment and a desire that was built in you as your brain developed. But I think people are uncomfortable with engaging with that conversation, and one of the most direct ways, because of the sort of fairly taboo nature of actual incest, it makes them extremely uncomfortable to engage with the real discussions at the crux of mommy kink, daddy kink, siscon, sibling shit. But not us. But not us. I'll fucking talk about it. I'll talk about it again. I'll make a second episode. I'll get even more canceled.
My brain is broken.
We could wrap it up here if you want to before we dig ourselves an even deeper hole, I suppose.
Do we have anything like fun to end with?
Did anything else funny happen to you at the sex party that we were at recently?
It's not like funny, but I frauded straps, which I thought was like cool. Like,
You went into that party saying, I want to fraud straps with someone.
yeah, and then I did.
How was it?
Like, visually it's stimulating, but you do it for like 5 minutes and then it's like, yeah, there's like not actually anything going on here. But it's like,
What position were you in, if you don't mind me asking?
I was on top.
Like straddling?
Yeah.
And they were laying down?
Yeah, and we were like rubbing them together.
I think if you're going to do it, you got to get physically closer to the person, you know? Like, you got to have the parts of you that do have feeling and do have sensation.
Right.
Like, you got to feel their breath, and like, you got to kiss, or you got to touch. You can't just be sitting there frauding.
I mean,
it's just going to get boring.
I mean, we kissed, but I guess maybe I wasn't that into the person.
That's true.
Yeah.
I can't say specifics because we know all of these people in real life, but sometimes people are too cringe for me to have sex with.
Right.
And that happened to me at that party.
Right. I kind of tried to put it to the side, but it kind of just like, you're just cringe.
I think you and the mommy kink girlfriend in question that was there with us have a far better ability to do that than I do. Like, if someone's cringe, I don't even care. I just like, I can't do it. I don't care how beautiful they are.
Well, that's not true, because I've seen you with some really cringe girls.
What? You really think so?
Mm-hmm.
No, if someone makes me cringe with their behavior, I can't do. Like, the feeling horny and cringing can't exist at the same time. But I think I just have a visceral reaction to cringing that punishes me a little more than others, maybe.
I guess we disagree on who's cringe.
That's really funny that you think the people I fuck are cringe, because I've always held steadfast in my opinion that if someone is cringe, I'm so turned off by it that I can't even be near them, much less have sex with them.
That's how I feel about some of the people you have sex with.
That's so funny. Oh, man. Dude. We got to talk about this when we're off of the podcast so that you don't call any of my fucking friends cringe.
Well, my funny story was about another cis person. There were a bunch of cis people at this party.
Boo.
But there was this cis woman chaser who was talking to me and our friend, and she was really drunk and out of sorts because of like her shitty boyfriend.
She was really drunk when we got there.
Yeah.
And then we took like 6 shots together.
Yeah. And then like, you know, she pulled her titties out at one point just because, I mean, one of us had our titties out, so it wasn't like unwarranted. It was just like, yeah, you go, girl.
Yeah, she was looking at my titties, and like I let her touch my titties in my dress, and then she was like, "Oh, check out my." She had big titties, so you know, flex,
respect,
yeah.
But like, right before she leaves, and she's so drunk, and like, I can tell she's getting sad. Right before she leaves, she asks me and my friend, "Do you believe in love?" And then she, like, has to go immediately.
God, that's so funny. I wish I had been there for that. I don't know what I was busy doing, but that's so fucking funny.
You were in the room.
Yeah,
occupied.
I guess I was already in the trenches, but... Oh my God, that's hilarious. Well, do you?
I believe in love. Do you, Lav?
I'm not liable to answer that question at this current point in time. Given all that I've said in the past hour.
Cool.
I think that's it for us.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be a pain in the ass for me to edit.
I know.
The time between when we record this and when it drops hopefully won't be too long.
Mm-hmm.
But I will carve out the genuinely insightful and funny things that we said and try to cut out as much of the discoursing as I possibly can.
Okay.
All right. My name's Lavender.
My name is Lex.
Thanks for listening and goodbye.
Bye.